there's a truly lost art nowadays in Hollywood where there was this phenomenon called original IPs. There's this moment in time where everything was original and everything was, just building from the ground up, things like Home Alone, Dumb and Dumber, and so on. The list goes on. Space Jam, like so many iconic films that you know marked a lot of people's lives and whatnot. And it's kind of funny because as technology has advanced and everything, it's like we have become stupider and less creative as time goes on, because nowadays everything is a remake, a reboot. Like it's just the same thing all over again. And what really pisses me off to a certain degree, this doesn't really apply to Beetlejuice, but to a certain degree, none of them are better. Like none of them, the ones that follow up the movie, none of them are better than the original. So that leaves me a question too: what exactly was the purpose of making these remakes and reboots and whatever? Like I don't exactly get it, except for the fact of getting a couple dollars. That's probably the only logical explanation to these things. And that is the case with Beetlejuice Beetlejuice. It's not better than the original, but it's not a bad film whatsoever. I think the movie is a great time. It's just it isn't as, I guess you could say, as linear as the first one. This one is just way more stupider and leaves you questioning the movie when you really think about it. Like if you just ignore logic, I guess this movie is kind of a good time if you don't take it too seriously, as the movie itself doesn't. But in terms of like a genuine film and all of that stuff, it draw, like it's not exactly great. Like there's a lot of it has to do a lot with spoiler things, but there's a lot of questioning between what characters do and what exactly was going on in between some years and whatever. Like it's really stupid. Then there's the new character where basically does fucking nothing. She only has like 5 minutes of screen time at most, and she does absolutely nothing. She raises the stakes of everything to do nothing at the end of the day. It truly makes no sense because they painted her as like this big bad and she never really was. Yeah, like to me the movie just kind of failed. I think you should have just recited more on, like, I think the mother daughter dynamic was pretty good, but it went too much. It tried to do too much. I'd say that it tried to do too much. Bringing the old characters was great and whatnot, but I don't think it did much. I don't think there's no way you cannot compare this one to the original because, of course, it's called literally the same. So I can't wait for Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. Now that's the one I'm waiting for. But no, I don't think this is by any fucking means better or even stands a chance against the original. I think the original is just just perfect. I think the original is just a really, 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 really good film. Really fun time to watch. Even nowadays, it's still a really good film. It's very stupid, and that's what I like about it. It's just the fact that it's very silly and in a way self-aware, and I like that. I like that a lot about the first film. But this one kind of, it does have the same, like, I guess you could say, ambience to it, like the same kind of like aesthetic to it, and the same sense of direction with a lot of the jokes and whatnot. But I don't know. Like it's not bad. Again, like I said, it's not bad. It's still a good time to watch. If your parents saw Beetlejuice and y'all want to have just a really good family time, this is absolutely a great family film for every age. Like you have very silliness for kids and silliness for adults with the double entendre humor. I don't know how you say that in English, but that's what it is. Nonetheless, this is definitely one of the most enjoyable films this year in terms of comedy. The comedy has really tied down nowadays with the amount of pile of shittery that comedy has been releasing in the past years, because every movie nowadays had comedy, but nobody does it well, which is kind of ironic. You'd be like, out of 100 shots, you'd make like 20 at least, but nowadays is out of 100 you only hit one. I mean, Abigail is probably the only example of a good humor film and actually like a good film overall. But anyways, ignoring all of that, This is just a decent film. Again, doesn't hold a candle to the original, but it is a good time. It is a good film. It's one of the better ones released this year, and I'm gonna give this movie like a nice little 6.5 to a 7. I don't think it's bad. I just think there's a lot of things with certain characters that don't make sense, and they just don't make sense, and that's it. It kind of took me away to a certain degree. I started thinking like, what? Why did we go through all of this when this could have easily, first of all, could have been proven 20 minutes into the film, and second, this character showed up and for what? There's just a lot of questions, a lot of questions. But in terms of enjoyability and stuff, and just ignoring logical shit, you will have yourself a great time. Cannot deny that. So